This video is to help you define your graphics card settings, especially if you're using Tebis software or any other softwares. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what kind of video card we have. Do we have an NVIDIA video card or do we have an AMD? And we're going to make sure that we have the correct drivers downloaded for this. If you don't know what video card you're using, you can always go down to your search bar here and type in Device Manager. And then once in here, you can go to your display adapters and it'll show you your video card right here. So on this system, I'm using an NVIDIA RTX A3000. Sometimes there's AMD setups as well. So depending on what you have, you either want to go to the NVIDIA website or the AMD website, and you can search your products here. So if I'm here up in the top right, I can click on drivers. You don't need to activate any accounts for this or anything like that. You can just go get their drivers. So you can see here it automatically filled this out. If it didn't, you'll need to fill this out and click this little search button, and it'll bring up the latest and greatest driver for you. And then you can just download this and install it. I would recommend doing it this way. Sometimes you don't always get the latest and greatest with Windows, but once you download it and install it, it should give you the correct driver. All right. So once I get the correct driver installed, I need to right click on my system. I'm using Windows 11, so I'm going to say show more options and go to my NVIDIA control panel. In my NVIDIA control panel, I have a couple of settings that I'm going to want to change. So the very first setting that I'm going to change is my global preset. Now, any CAD CAM person is going to want to switch this to Workstation App Dynamic Streaming. And that's just going to give me some better overall settings here. So I'm going to click on Apply. And then that will be all set. The next thing you want to do is very specific to Tebis. We're going to go to the program settings. And I want to input Tebis here. So if you use this little drop down, a lot of times you're not going to see Tebis appear automatically. So how do we fix that? First thing we're going to need to do is click on Add. And you can add a selected program, but I think it's safer to click on this Browse button and actually pick from the C drive. So if I go to the C drive, Program Files, I'm going to scroll down till I see Tebis AG. And then I'm going to click on the version that I want. So I'll say version 4.1 R6. That's the latest as of right now. And then I'm going to click on the program folder. In the program folder itself, if I scroll down, I can see this Tebis here, this application. I can just double click that, and that will automatically insert this into this little bar here. So a couple key settings that I like to use. I'll kick this enable overlay to on here. So let's keep scrolling down. I will also, in the OpenGL rendering GPU setting, I will select my graphics card. Under the power management mode, I'm going to select prefer max performance. And then I'm going to keep scrolling down. And the last two that I would say are very important are the threaded optimization. We want to make sure this is not set to auto. We want to set this to on. And the triple buffering is set to on as well. So what these are going to do specifically is, specifically this one is going to allow you to use the full power of your CPU. So Tebis is not loading up on one core. It's now spreading evenly amongst as many cores as it can. That way, you're not bogging your computer down. It's going to be much, much better when using the Tebis software. Then once you say apply, I can close out of this. And then I'm basically ready to go. Tebis is now running as efficiently as it can be. If you're looking to see what are the best video cards we can use as far as Tebis is concerned, you're going to want to go to the Tebis website, just tebis.com. And if I scroll all the way down here, at the bottom right, I can see system requirements and hardware recommendations. So if I click on this, this page is going to explain to me the necessary requirements that we need in order to run Tebis efficiently. Not saying any other systems won't run Tebis, but if you want to run it efficiently and you're looking at buying a new system, this is definitely a page you want to take a look at. So here we have the system requirements. We need Windows 10, what kind of CPU we're looking for, and so forth. So if we scroll down just a little bit further, we have some recommended workstations for an entry level, mid level, and a high level. So we do have Intel and AMD here. So we can do a Ryzen 5 or a Core i5 per se for a CPU. That's kind of your entry level CPU. 16 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes for a solid state drive. And as far as GPUs go, we have a Quadro T600 and a Radeon Pro W6400. When you get to the mid-level, that's more of your Ryzen 7 or your Intel Core i7 processors with a little bit more RAM, 64 gigs of RAM, and about a Quadro RTX A2000 for the video card, and a Radeon Pro W5700 for the video card. That's about your mid-level here. And then on the high level, we have i9s, Intel Core i7-3700K, and then a Ryzen 9 as well for the CPU, and then RAM all the way up to 128 gigabytes. A lot of systems get away with 64 gigs still here, but the more RAM you have, just the better your computer is overall going to perform. As well as the video card, having a W6800 or RTX A5000 will be more than sufficient. If we scroll down a little bit further, we could see the recommended graphics card. So this page right here is specific to just graphics cards alone, with AMD, NVIDIA, and then AMD CPU amidst the security feature / memory encryption. So we'll just kind of stick to these two boxes up here. For an entry level, it kind of goes over the same thing as we did in the previous page up here, where it can show you the mid-level to high-level graphics card. So if you have something in the ballpark here or here, you should be fine. Everything should work out as needed. Definitely, your computer is important when running Tebis. You want to make sure that you're investing into a good video card. You want to make sure you have a good CPU, a good power supply. The better you have, component-wise, the better it's going to run Tebis amongst other softwares. These video card settings can also be used for other softwares as well, just to have an overall better performance.